All right. Good morning, you guys. It is July 6th. This is our first full week of July, and I'm excited. So we're really kicking off our Fit Focus. And as I mentioned a couple weeks ago, each week in July, we are going to choose one focus within kind of our nutritional realm to just really zoom in on. So I wanted to kind of cover that first and then kind of get to our topic of time management, which I think you'll love this little aha moment that I found this week. But our focus this week is going to be on tracking, right? As I really think about like what is the one thing that can help us to really understand what's going on in our nutrition and put us back in power, it's tracking, right? So this week's challenge is to track your food and your water every day. You can do that via notebook, pen and paper. I really love the To Be Mindset journal because I love just everything that's in there where you can, not only track your food, not only see your water in your sleep, but, set that intention today for the day and look back at what made today great. The Ultimate Portion Fix journal is very similar too, but I just really love how all of that comes together. So you can use a paper method, even just pen, like a notebook works really well, or you can use electronic, right? Some people just really do better because they always have their phone, so it's much easier. So when I'm using electronic, I really love the Nutrition Plus app that Beachbody has. You can just take a quick picture even and put it in there. It really, tracking helps me to better plate my food, to really put things in a portioned system, right? Instead of just grabbing things out of the bag or a handful of this or a handful of that. It really helps me to be more mindful, to plate my food, to really have a meal, and to eat when I'm hungry. So what we're going to do is tonight you'll find this posted in the group. I'm going to share this really quick just so you see it. But a daily win. So I want you to every night post just share a picture of your tracker, whatever you're using, and then share your win for the day. What went well, what or who inspired you that day, and then rate your nutrition. Okay, so when I say rate your nutrition, I'm not talking about being perfect and never, treating yourselves and things like that, right? Whenever I say rate your nutrition, I really want you to think and to have what that realistic plan looks like for each day, right? If you are going to a party or you're with friends and you intend to have a glass of wine or you intend to have a treat, that's great, right? Like that was part of your daily plan. So account for that. This isn't about all or nothing mentality in our nutrition. It's about finding that balance for us that helps us to lose weight, hit our goals, feel the energy that we want, but enjoy the things that we want to. So remember that when you're rating your nutrition, it's all about what was the realistic plan that you set up for the day, that you're able to really rate that into that scale, right? So if it was something where you didn't handle food very well that day, this is just a great system for you to say, how can I go about tomorrow so it's a little bit better? Because we all have those situations where, we didn't do quite what we intended to do, and it's not a loss. It's really just a great opportunity for us to reevaluate how we can do it better the next time. So use those times where you're feeling a little bit uninspired in your nutrition or not doing as well to use those learning opportunities for exactly what they are and what we need to have them. Okay, so that'll be our focus this week, to do that. I'll have that post up tonight. Probably I'll put it up at 3 p.m. East or Mountain Standard Time. That way by 5 by dinner time, you guys have got it East Coast, and it'll just stay pinned to the top of the page. So that'll be our pinned post for the week, just so it's always there. It's easy to find. So we will still have morning posts, so I'll put those in in the morning. So just go, and those should be higher in your news feed to be able to look for those each day too. Or you can sort the posts in our group by coach posts so that those pull up more easily too. So if you feel like you're missing those daily posts, just sort that. There's a little tab at the top. You'll see it says see all posts, or see my posts, or see coach posts. So you can sort them that way, so you can find things in your newsfeed a little bit easier as well. So, any questions, Pascal? Since you're here, you got the audience. Questions on that?
I'm good. I managed to do that now. I know where.
I love it. So we're good. All right. So I wanted to, for kind of our daily and our weekly intention this week, just to share some things that I learned or was thinking about in managing our time. So on the weekly check-ins that I get, and really when I start working with new clients, probably one of the most consistent things that I hear is, I don't have time to work, to fit it all in, or, I don't feel like I have time to do the meal planning, or, it's just all about us not having time. And on my crazy long bike rides that I will be on weekly, I choose to really plug into podcasts or audiobooks a lot of times. And I've been listening to this audio. It's kind of like a lecture series. And it's called I Know What to Do, so Why Don't I Do It? And I can't remember the doctor's name. Is something Hall. I'll have to look at what it is. But anyway, it's just a series of lectures that he gave, and he really kind of approaches, that we know what to do, but why don't we do it? And approaching it kind of from a scientific standpoint. So, and it's great. It's gone through a lot of different aspects of things in life and what we do. And, so what I was listening to on Friday, we were talking about, reasons why we don't take action to do the things that we do. And this is one area that he talked a lot about, is that I don't have time. And he said, just that statement, when we tell ourselves, I don't have time, puts us out of control, right? Because we're telling ourselves that we just don't have the availability of time. And that time isn't something that we can create. It's a finite thing. We're all given 24 hours in a day. So when we tell ourselves in our mind, I don't have time, we're really just not enabling ourselves to be unstuck, because that's something that we cannot change, and we don't have any control over. So what the shift that he recommended that we make is just telling ourselves, instead of focusing on that we don't have time, recognizing the fact that I've taken on more than can be done in the time I have available, right? And then utilizing that statement to reassess what we really need to be doing in the time that we have, right? So in that time that we have, we all need to sleep, right? We have that time where we need to be productive, and we also need pleasure. We need things that, feel good, that give us rest, that give us restoration, and things like that. So I want you guys to kind of take action on that this week. Those moments when we say, oh, I just don't have time, or there's just not enough time, or, I need more hours in the day, right? Let's stop ourselves from that, right? That finite thinking, that thinking that doesn't allow us to be in control, that puts time in control. And I want you to just use that statement. I've taken on more than can be done in the time I have available, right? Put yourself back in control, allow yourself the ability to change, right? So we just have to choose to restrict the number of projects that we have in a certain amount of time. And that just requires choice. But when we tell ourselves that, it automatically can just help us to feel better, to say, okay, so what I'm doing, what today didn't work. So where can I go tomorrow so that I can feel better balanced and be able to do the things that I want to do? A lot of times we just don't use our time as wisely as we can, right? And I'm a big fan of blocking time out for things. I don't really love to have every minute of my life scheduled. I feel a little anxious about that. But I do recognize that if I have important tasks or things that I really want to get done, if I can give them a block of time in my schedule for the week, that it really creates a lot of freedom for me, right? Not only freedom to be able to get things done, but mentally, where I don't have to be thinking about those things all of the time. You know, have you ever had that running to-do list in your head where you just think about it because, you know, you haven't gotten it done or you don't want to forget about it? Well, if we sit down, you know, and I use Sundays to sit down and just kind of block out time where I write down what's the most important things to do during the week, and I block those things in, that it really helps. And don't forget, you know, like I just mentioned, those things that bring us pleasure and rest and restoration, like those are important things to do too, right? So don't leave those things out, right? Like, so if you go to work in an office and, you know, you like to take that afternoon break to, you know, talk with people in the break room, or you take that walk at lunch or whatever that is that kind of gives you that rest time, like, don't leave those things out, right? Plan them in and give them the appropriate attention that they need to. But just know that they're in there, right? And that we have to utilize that time to do the best that we can with that. So I don't know if that helped with rambling, but that, you know, I just really took that away, you know, that was a great way to look at it instead of saying, I don't have time, right? So again, we're putting everything outside of ourselves in control to say, whew, I've taken on more than can be done in the time that I have. So how can I readjust that to really make sure that, that I can do that? So sometimes that requires us to be much better at saying no than yes. But I think we'll find that when we can say no or not right now, and that's important too, right? It doesn't necessarily need to be no, but maybe not right now, that we can organize ourselves to get some of those things out of our mind and into practice that will help to shape everything else that we want to be doing to be much better, or to naturally fall out of your life because it really wasn't important in the first place. So this is our, I taken on more than can be done, right? Mentality. So we all have time. We all have the same time. So it isn't that somebody's luckier than us, but I've taken on more than can be done in the time that is allotted. So how can we make that transition? So practice that, and I think it'll really, really help you to feel more in control and to get to the things that are really important to you. All right, wrapping up. Any thoughts?
No, I've been working on personal development as well, and I was just listening. It was in French though, but listening to the fact that we have 4 different parts in our brain, and there's always one of the part that wants to protect us, that it's too hot, it's too this, it's too that, and finally then try to keep you from doing things that, you know, if you talk to yourself, you'll get over that.
Absolutely.
So, same idea.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, and it's always looking for the path to use as little energy as possible to get us to where we need to go, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's usually habits that we've relied on in the past or the ways we've done things in the past. So kind of making these shifts, like we just have to recognize, to give ourselves some time and grace, that it will take time and effort to teach our brain that this is a good way too, that these are good things that we want it to do. So awesome. All right, I love it, my friend. Have a great week.
You too.
Okay, we'll talk to you soon. After you get your workout done, Pascal, today.
Yep.